turn one, and he's covered him. He's covered him. Ferrari under pressure.
Every time.
I'm just useless.
Ferrari's gamble, the Hamilton car.
Inside a locked room at Maranello, Ferrari just made the boldest gamble in decades. One that could hand Lewis Hamilton his record-breaking 8th World Championship, or shatter both their legacies forever. What happened wasn't just a technical update, it was Ferrari ripping up its DNA, rebuilding the Scuderia around a single man. And the consequences, they go far deeper than you think. When Hamilton signed with Ferrari, the story felt like a fairy tale. The greatest driver of our era, joining Formula One's most iconic team. But 2025 has been anything but a honeymoon. The SF25 was hyped as Hamilton's launchpad. Winter testing showed promise, not dominant, but close enough to McLaren to make the season interesting. Yet, by mid-season, that optimism was gone. Hungary summed it up, the sun high over the Hungaroring, track temperatures spiking, grip fading fast. Hamilton, desperate to salvage a Q3 spot, threw everything at his final lap. Across the line, the time wasn't enough, out in Q2. Meanwhile, Charles Leclerc, same car, same session, stuck it on pole. The contrast was brutal. When Hamilton called himself useless after qualifying, many thought it was pure self-criticism. But Hamilton doesn't play the vulnerability card by accident. That was a signal, aimed as much at Ferrari's engineers as the media, that the car wasn't giving him what he needed. By the summer break, Ferrari had slipped behind McLaren in the constructors' standings. Upgrades weren't sticking. Qualifying gains vanished in race trim. And Hamilton's comfort with the SF25? Non-existent. Then came that meeting in Maranello. Sources say senior engineers didn't just acknowledge the problem, they tore up the playbook. For the first time since Hamilton arrived, Ferrari's next car, the 2026 machine, will be built entirely around his driving style. Not as a token gesture, not a half measure. The entire concept. The technical shift, Ferrari's DNA, has revolved around Leclerc's style. Ultra-sharp turn-in, sacrificing rear stability. It works for Charles, who can dance the car through mid-corner slides and keep momentum. But for Hamilton, whose success is built on rhythm and confidence, that unpredictability is kryptonite. The difference might sound small, but at 300 kilometers per hour, it's the difference between controlling the car and surviving it. Hamilton thrives on a platform he can trust lap after lap. Brake here, turn in here, throttle here, without worrying if the rear end will snap unexpectedly. Leclerc's preference has been Ferrari's reference point since 2019, the SF21, SF24, SF25, all tuned to his feel. That familiarity gives him an instinctive edge. Changing that philosophy isn't like swapping a front wing. It means rethinking suspension geometry, weight distribution, aero balance, everything. Enter Loic Serra. This is where Loic Serra's arrival becomes critical. The former Mercedes head of vehicle dynamics spent years translating Hamilton's feel into engineering numbers, and those numbers into championship-winning cars. At Brackley, Serra and Hamilton operated like a well-rehearsed band. Hamilton would describe a micro-shift in rear stability under braking, and Serra's team would find it in the data within hours. Ferrari has never had that kind of direct Hamilton interpreter before. But here's the catch. This isn't just an engineering challenge, it's political. Leclerc isn't just Ferrari's other driver, he's the homegrown golden child. His feedback loop is embedded in Ferrari's culture. Every engineer in the building knows how to translate his words into setup changes. Now, they have to split that attention. Go too far toward Hamilton and Charles might end up in a car that feels alien. Stay too close to Leclerc's style, and this Hamilton project becomes symbolic instead of revolutionary. History says Ferrari doesn't always handle these internal battles gracefully. Think Prost versus Mansell in 1990, Alonso versus Massa in 2010. Two strong drivers with different needs can fracture a team if the balance tips. The moment word leaks that Ferrari's 2026 concept bears Hamilton's fingerprints, the rest of the grid will adapt. Mercedes will run anti-Hamilton simulations, looking for circuits where his preferred setup philosophy is weakest. McLaren will double down on versatility, building a chassis with the widest possible operating window so both Norris and Piastri can exploit it in all conditions. Red Bull, they've perfected the art of building for one driver. If Ferrari shows early pace, expect Adrian Newey's team to fast-track upgrades to crush momentum before it builds. The 2026 window. All of this matters even more because of the 2026 regulation reset. The first 4 to 6 races will decide the season's trajectory. Once the budget cap and aero testing limits bite, catching up becomes nearly impossible. Hamilton knows this. His titles weren't built solely on qualifying glory. They came from converting bad weekends into minimal damage and good weekends into maximum points. If Ferrari nails the baseline car, the math swings in their favour. A 2-place average improvement per race over 24 rounds, that's nearly a 100-point swing. Championship territory. If it works, Hamilton won't just win an 8th title. He'll do it in Ferrari red, breaking the all-time record with the most mythic team in F1 history. He joined Fangio in the rare club of champions who won with multiple constructors under radically different technical eras. If it fails, the narrative shifts. Not even Hamilton could break Maranello's curse. The first laps in Bahrain will say it all. Watch the braking zones, the direction change, the body language in that first debrief. Does Hamilton give that subtle nod that says, yes, this is the car? Or is it another year of compromise? 2026 isn't just another season. It's the collision point between legacy and opportunity, between Ferrari's redemption and Hamilton's shot at immortality. So, do you think Ferrari has the courage and the car to fight for it all? Drop your thoughts below, and if you want more insider F1 breakdowns like this, hit subscribe.